Ahead of today, the 10 recommendations socio-economic programs of the government, and I assure you, we will study and review it. And for now, I would say I see nothing wrong with this. These are doable. It's a matter of just doing it and implementing it right away. Now, let me dwell at governance in the light of what I have been schooled. You know, I'm a lawyer, and I never pretended to be an economist. And as a matter of fact, I could hardly pass the subject economics even in college. So I never made any projections about what will happen to this country financially or whatever. And for the many occasions that I was invited, the unanimous opinion was that I did not give any economic programs to present. Now, you must remember that I'm a lawyer, and I choose criminal law as my field of specialization. I became a trial prosecutor for about 9 years before I became mayor. Now, in between, for an odd years, I was teaching criminal law, criminal evidence, and criminal procedures, and killing criminals. So, do not expect me to just discuss with you these economic programs, especially taxation. Cesar Barata, the venerable old man of the finance world, told me when I went to him for an advice, and he said, never just agree on anything about taxation. Let the experts in your government do it. The best that you can do is just keep silent and wait for the ready and actionable action that you might want to take on the matter. As I was sufficiently warm about all of these things, and verily, this will be studied by each and every department to where the subject matter belongs. Then maybe I could just read it in its final form and convene the cabinet to give its inputs. But I have no doubt about the people who have chosen to comprise the cabinet. They all are Filipinos, loving their country and rearing to do their share of nation building. If you want to talk about sentences, indeterminate sentence law, anong klaseng criminal law, crime and criminality, I could give you a lecture for 1 week. We can always stay here for a while and give you all that are really the impact on crime and criminality at governance. Now, when I was a prosecutor, many cases were lost by default because of corruption, changing the evidence from Cebu to Tawas, and all of these things. And it is really a lousy government, I tell you. I do not want to offend anybody, but including the police. Kaya hirap tayo. Now, I hold it as an article of faith, having the experience in Davao, that there can be no progress or development of a local government and the community unless there is law and order. Now, you do not compare Manila to Davao. Hindi pwede kasi naiwan. Manila was ahead by so many decades before Davao City came into being. So what I really saw before my eyes unfolding when you came here in 1950, 48, 49, I was just a child, and I saw Davao really grow and grew. Ang nakita ko was during the peaceful times, ang Davao maganda. But came the turbulent years of martial law, and anarchy set in, especially here in Mindanao. And there were so many rebellious fronts, insurgency problems, which this country has to cope up with until now. Now remember that you cannot have peace in Mindanao. You cannot invest in Mindanao, bring in the materials, dalhin mo dito kung ano makinari mo, because in the end of the day, if you don't pay the taxes, the national people's army will just burn it. And many of you have suffered this kind of fate. In some areas, hindi masyado sa Davao, because I was able to connect with all forces acting as the pressure groups in an economy. So I started by just talking to the left to leave Davao and stop killing or cutting each other's throat with the government security forces. And then I was able to convince them to go out of the boundaries. Doon na lang kayo sa Surigao. Doon na lang kayo magsunog. Total. Huwag lang dito because it will affect the totality of the fibers of a community. Talagang walang mangyari. So how can you invest now and find business in Mindanao especially? Now, ang problema ko because I used just to watch over a small community like Davao City. There are two kinds of forces that would affect this country today. The rebellious fronts, the insurgencies, and the crime and criminality. Dito sa revolutionary fronts, I have realized early on that you cannot outkill each other. No such thing as succeeding in a revolution by killing all of them. Dito naman sa Davao, because right after martial law, as there were a lot of people during martial law giving arms. As a matter of fact, yung Philippine National Police Headquarters, meron silang lathe dyan na machine at the back of the barracks. And they were producing as many guns as there were. Tom, Dick, and Harry who would say that he was ready to fight and die against the communists. So magulo. Ang Davao at 7 o'clock was very arid, dry. Wala na lumalabas. So when I became mayor, I said, I only give him one promise. I didn't have a political party. I was yanked out from the prosecution's office to just act as OIC. Because I said, my mother was one of the leading figures of the Yellow Friday here. But she declined the position, but said, if you really want to repay us, then just promote me to be the chief prosecutor. And you can appoint my chief as a judge because that is what we wanted. Ayan, nagyan ako. But along the way, nag-away kami noong mayor. And so I found myself running in 1988 for the first time, dwelling in politics. Along the way, I became a vice mayor to my daughter and a congressman in the 1st district. I am now on its 23rd year as mayor of the city of Davao. Now, marami kasi yung ito si Duterte, magandang kandidato to. And I thought all the while that they were really just joking. To me, it was a bad joke. Kaya ako napipika. Sabi ko, look guys, biro kayo huwag niyong sobrahan kasi hindi na maganda pakinggan. But I cannot even Imagine, maybe during the campaign, I was perplexed na marami kasi ang crowd. The multitude that came to the rallies were just simply very, if it was a dinner, it's very sumptuous crowd. Kaya pabilib ko yung sarili ko na mananalo ako. But that was it. I did not have, except for Ilocos, I'm there, at dalawang gobernador. Wala nga akong mayor, except my fraternity brothers who were running for the local elections. Yun ang nagsusuwa. Some ang councilors, vice mayor, may isang mayor ata. Yung mga brad ko sa Prat. What all others, wala akong, except of course ngayon. Ito si Carlo Nograles is really my nephew. Ang tatay niya is, tatay mo ba yan, Carlo? Biro lang. All is well that ends well in politics. So ngayon, I find myself maybe any poised in a few days to take my oath of office. I would have to rely on the cabinet members. Kasi wala nga akong, if you want me to deal with crime and criminality, wala, champion tayo. If it's just a matter of applying, treating, or whatever, understanding the crime and criminal minds, I could probably say that, I would say that during my time, it was really the best, because I won almost all of my cases. And it's very hard to get a conviction of death penalty. But sa record ko, I got 3. It's really, sa kaming mga abogado, mabigat yan. As you go up to the Supreme Court. Otherwise, I'll be just an executive running this show, and I'll be hurrying up this department and sabihin mo, guys, you shape up there. But let me be very brutal and frank to you all. Corruption must stop now. And I would address to all Filipinos who want to do something for your country and never had the opportunity because walang yung nagyayaya sa inyo. Ngayon na ninyo gawin kasi ako na. Ayaw ko talaga ng corruption. It makes me sick. At sa tawag naman sa Bisaya at Parabuyag, ano bang Tagalog, sa awa ng Diyos naman, never had in a single ground case about money. Yung ibang mga plaza na sinira ako because ginawa ng tatay nito ni Carlo na wala namang permit sa akin. So he sued me up to the Supreme Court. And I said, well, it's my job to keep this terrace clean. What can I do? That's in the book. Well, of course, it was dismissed, but it was a long and winding battle sa Supreme Court. Ngayon dito sa corruption. I said, no offense intended, I got Dulay. Ano ito ba si Billy? Willie Dulay? Uwi siguro sa Bagyo. Ilocano yun, taga Bagyo. Nainita siguro dito. Dulay, God, Demetrio. Hello, Bill. Ito si Billy Dulay at si Bebot, magka-roommates yan sila. Sa harap ng kwarto nila, yun yung roommate ko. I was with Yasay. Ngayon sabi nila, kinuha ko si Yasay. I was at that time with UP, Padre Paura. Bebot naman pati si Billy, at taningaw sila. Ako sa San Beda. So it's just a mixed crowd there. But most of my friends are really Ilocanos. Kasi sa dormitorio, they were the dominant tribe there. Alam ko sila. I know Dulay, I know Bebot. value, they can really deliver. If they just really would want to do it, they can. Just give you a vignettes of life. Nung sa dormitoryo kami, pagka linggo, sarado yung kantin, may bowling, so we used to, nakukuha namin sa kamay yung mga stock doon sa taas. What Dulay would never participate on siya. Ganon ka, yung tao. But I'm not saying that he is really 100% honest, because I really would not know if he has another woman in his life. We do not go together. Pero honesty in the sense na sa public service, they are imbued. Lahat naman kami. Sino po ba rito? I'm sorry. Senator Soto. Soto. Si Tito. Ko. So, medyo yung matak mo na nag-backjob ako sa laser. Pero mas gwapo ka kay Tito. Yung kalaban mo isa nandito. But both of them are my friends, and neutral na ako. Sabi ko, fight it out. Kasi ako naman talaga PDP. At ang running mate ko in the last election, alam naman ninyo si then we have si General Lorenzana, who used to be assigned here sa Davao. Anong namili ako, I could not, stricto ng lahat ng stricto. Bihira ito tumatawa, just like Galvante. Si Galvante doon sa pre-departure, nakaupo dito sa sofa, nandito sa, if this is the sofa, no? Yung aide niya, kalahati ng puwit, kalabas na doon sa, ganon si Galvante. Pati yung aide niya, kalahati lang yung puwit na ay, nako. And almost all are really valedictorian. Sana consistently. Ako hanggang second year lang ako sa taxi, na-expelled ako. Naiwan. But ito sila sana, consistent valedictorians. Lahat yan sila puro maotak. Puro 95 lang lahat. Ako 75 lang. Pero sometimes it's really a strange thing. Maybe by destiny. That lahat yung mga scholars noon sa UP, sa bata-bata lang ng mayor sa Davao. Ako naman since grade school, talaga hanggang dyan lang ako, 75, 76, 27. Nilagpon masyado yung 80. I do not even think I got an 80 in high school. 75 lang, dahan-dahan lang. 7 years sa high school, kaya nauna ito sila. Layas dito, it took me 7 years to finish high school actually. Pero, how would you call it? Destiny? Maybe wala akong, except si Ayumi yung openly went out to, wala akong, except mas my nephew, wala akong congressman, wala akong vice mayor, wala akong isang barangay captain outside of Davao. Pagkaya ko, na-mesmerize ako noong sa crowd because marami palagi. I thought that but ngayon, thinking about it now, I'm really dumbfounded how I made it. walang kinarya, walang pera, lumalag kay Trillanes. Meron ang taga-BPI dito, di, buksan ninyo yung ledger ko. Oo na. If that's a guy from go to him and I am authorizing you verbally in front of people. Open the ledger. Yung pera na yun, galing sa Congress yun, and I was a congressman. Sininideposito ko yung pera ko doon sa bangko. Yung may dollar account, sobra yan sa binibigay ni Senator Tatay ni Senator Villar, because I was the speaker at the time. Every time we go out of the country, we are provided with. Hindi naman ako mahilig magbibili, so every time I go out of the country, and what was the only time that I was going out of the country. Previously, hindi ako nakakalakad. Wala akong gana kasi, except when I was a congressman. So, yung mga sobra, we are given actually $5,000 per congressman if you go out. So, ang magastos ko lang yung mga blilit na. So, kaya naiwan nga, magkano yun? It's $5,000. Tapos, dinipositohan ni Mar ng $20 sa i-trace namin yun sa bangko ng Tubao. He was just actually trying to find out whether it was extant or still alive. Pero yun lang, okay mo naman, Trilla. And it's all garbage. That is why also I said, I have some my heartaches. Because the owner of a nectar, once upon a time, and he said, you know, ang balita namin, kabarkada mo yun. Got this paper. Saan yung blanco? Pinirma ko. Tanungin mo.